Morning, and we're in chapter 16. And in the 17th year of Pekah, the son of Remaliah, Ahaz, the son of Jotham, the king of Judah, began to reign. 20 years old was Ahaz when he began to reign, and he reigned 16 years in Jerusalem, and did not that which was right in the sight of the Lord his God, like David his father. But he walked in the way of the kings of Israel, and made his son to pass through the fire, according to the abominations of the heathen, whom the Lord cast out from before the children of Israel. So, some things that he did totally wrong was, when they say pass through the fire, I think the first thing that I go to is actual human sacrifice, and maybe it is. I'm not an expert on these, but the more I've read this, the more I think it's a ritual of some sort of a burning or something, make them pass through the fire, like they come out the other side. They're not like a burning, killing their sons and daughters. I don't know. But it sounds pretty horrific anyway. The reason why I say that, if they're all doing that, they wouldn't have any children whatsoever. But if it's just a ritual, it's still, like getting a branding or something. I don't know. It might be that. Brand themselves, mark themselves somehow with a hot iron, pass through the fire. I wasn't there. But at the worst, it'd be that he sacrificed his son. At the best, there was some sort of a burning, something that they had to do, a ritual to say, hey, you're now part of this heathen worship, according to the abominations of the heathen. And we'll hear this tomorrow as well when we talk about Jerusalem, or not Jerusalem, Samaria and the northern tribes, how when they're conquered, what are the reasons? And these are the same reasons. Whom the Lord cast out from before the children of Israel, and he sacrificed burnt incense in the high places, on the hills, and under every green tree. Then Rezin, king of Syria, and Pekah, son of Remaliah, king of Israel, came up to Jerusalem, and they besieged Ahaz, but could not overcome him. And at that time, Rezin, king of Syria, recovered Elath to Syria, and drave the Jews from Elath and from the Syrians. And the Syrians came to Elath and dwelt there unto this day. So they took a city called Elath. Things are starting to happen here, and you're seeing a lot of division, a lot of fighting. And Ahaz sent messengers to Tilgath-Pilzar, king of Assyria, saying, Am I thy servant and thy son? Come up and save me out of the hand of the king of Syria, and out of the hand of the king of Israel, and rise up against me. So he's calling on, instead of calling on God, he's calling on Assyria. Now, Assyria and Syria are two different things. And in the right-hand corner, we do have some notes on that. And let's just look at that. Let's look at the first one. Sorry. Why did King Ahaz seek help from Assyria? During the reign of King Ahaz, Judah and many other nations faced the threat of being conquered by the growing Assyrian army. The kings of Israel, Pekah, and Syria, Rezin, wanted King Ahaz and the people of Judah to join them in the alliance to resist Assyria's dominance. When Ahaz refused, Israel and Syria threatened to go to battle against Judah and replace Ahaz with the leader who would join their alliance. And I've read Isaiah, and I'm sure that in there he talks about this alliance a few times. From the book of there we go. From the book of Isaiah, we learn that the Lord sent the prophet Isaiah to counsel Ahaz about this matter. Isaiah encouraged Ahaz and the people of Judah to rely on the Lord for deliverance from the armies of Pekah and Rezin. He also encouraged Ahaz not to seek help from Assyria. However, Ahaz disregarded Israel's counsel and asked the king of Assyria for protection. Now, it's interesting here because some people say, well, it's really hard to understand Isaiah. This is one of those times when understanding this history will help you understand Isaiah better. Ahaz persisted in his apostasy after he made an alliance with Assyria. He made unauthorized changes to furnishings and ordinances of the temple and instituted the practice of idolatry throughout the kingdom of Judah. And we'll see more of that in a second. And then, just so we're aware of who the Assyrians are, throughout the first half of the first millennium BC, Assyria was a dominant power in ancient Near East, particularly during the 8th and 7th centuries BC. Assyria's capital was generally located in places throughout Mesopotamia in the modern country of Iraq. The Old Testament frequently mentions Assyria's conflicts and changes with the kingdoms of Israel and Judah. Assyria's name may come from Ashur, one of the sons of Sem. Ashur was also the name of both the chief god of the Assyrians and their capital city. Assyrians had a reputation for viciously desolating the lands and torturing the people they conquered. They also often deported large portions of the conquered population to other parts of their empire and weakened them. I think we'll probably see that more as they keep conquering. They'll take people away and they'll bring people in. And we'll see that that's where Sumerians come from, is they've got the Assyrians that come in and whatever population is still there mixes with them, but they take a lot of people out. And we'll see that probably in the next chapter. And Ahaz took silver and gold that was found in the house of the Lord and in the treasures of the king of the house and sent it for a present to the king of Assyria. So now he's kind of paying off the king of Assyria to have this protection. And the king of Assyria hearkened unto him, for the king of Assyria went up against Damascus and took it and carried the people of it captive to Kir and slew Rezin. And the king of Ahaz went to Damascus to meet Tiglath-Pileser, king of Assyria, and said, and saw an altar that was at Damascus, and King Ahaz sent to Uriah the priest the fashion of the altar, and patterned it according to all the workmanship thereof. Basically, he's saying, "Oh wow, is that what they like? You know, I'll take that up. Oh, the boss likes golf, so I'll take up golf. You know, that sort of thing." And Uriah the priest built an altar according to the king, to all the King Ahaz had sent from Damascus. So Uriah the priest made it against King Ahaz. Came from Damascus. He basically made it from everything that King Ahaz had told him what to do. When the king was come from Damascus, the king saw the altar, and the king approached the altar and offered thereon, and he burnt his burnt offerings and his meat offering, and poured the drink offering, and sprinkled the blood of his peace offerings upon the altar. It sounds like he's got the offerings that was supposed to be to the God of Israel, the meat offering, the peace offerings, all of the offerings that they were told to do, and that was supposed to be done by the priests and done in the temple. Now the king, remember, King Saul got in trouble for doing a similar thing, and now Ahaz is doing just as bad. Oh, sorry. And he brought also the brazen altar, which was before the Lord, from the forefront of the house, from between the altar and the house. And the Lord put it on the north side of the altar. And King Ahaz commanded Uriah the priest, saying, "Upon the great altar burn the morning burnt offering, and the evening meat offering, and the king's burnt sacrifice, and his meat offering, with the burnt offering of all the people of the land, and their meat offering, and their drink offerings. And sprinkle upon it all the blood of the burnt offering, and all the blood of the sacrifice. And the brazen altar shall be for me to inquire by." So see how he's totally corrupted everything. He's going off of what he's seen in Damascus and altering it to his own things. He's not asking the Lord, what is it that we should be doing? Thus did Uriah the priest, according to all that King Ahaz commanded. And King Ahaz cut off the borders of the bases, and removed the laver from off them, and took down the sea from off the brazen oxen and that were under it, and put it upon the pavement of stones. And the covert of the Sabbath that they had built in the house, and the king's entry without, turned he from the house of the Lord, for the king of Assyria. So he's changed everything just to be like the Assyrians, basically. Well, now the rest of the acts of Ahaz, which he did, are they not written in the book of the Chronicles of the Kings of Judah? So reminding us that these books have similar stories, but they're being told for different audiences or something like that. Ahaz slept with his fathers and was buried with his fathers in the city of David, and Hezekiah his son reigned in his stead. So we've got this, and then we're going to kind of go and talk about what happens in northern Israel next.